going over how to overcome fear with the one emotion that really matters the most. Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to the channel. I am Shika. I'm a travel lifestyle content creator, mentor, and owner of blog. And on this channel we talk about all things spirituality, wellness, entrepreneurship, and social media. Today we're going to be discussing a lot about how to overcome fear, how to overcome anger with the one emotion, love. I have brought in two concepts here to help you guys out, along with the amazing book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, who talks a lot about the importance of us understanding our mind, understanding how to be in the now, and how that really allows us to understand our emotions more. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I do videos every single day for you lovely souls. And today's subscriber of the day is Eve Cooper. Thank you so much for being part of the community. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you guys. Please make sure that you subscribe, put in notification bells, as we are manifesting 1 million this year, 1 million amazing conscious souls that we are going to support. Now, let's get into the video. So number one is kind of going into anger. Let's talk about anger. Anger is deep rooted from the emotions, from the traumas, and sometimes can be passed along to us ancestrally. Yes, ancestrally, meaning that sometimes our own parents can driven and put that anger within us, not knowing why we have that. And we've seen this historically in various historical events where that anger is rooted and taught with us in our energy, in the energy of our ancestors. So I really want to share with you guys understanding where does that anger hold so you can release it and so it doesn't serve you anymore. So with anger, this comes from a lot of our experiences. So kind of ask yourself, if you are trying to overcome anger, where does this anger hold its space? Why is that an angry, what's getting you angry? What exactly is holding you back to get you angry? And the reason why I say this is because anger is equal to pain body. It's in a body of which we're holding in this space, in this skeleton of which our souls are in, and it is aching of this emotion of anger that allows us to react irrationally, and i.e. unconsciously. So when you think of the body pain, it is a person, it is a soul that is living off a life of emotion and recklessness. And we have to really understand that the more that we live into that emotion and holding on to that thought through that experience, the less conscious that we become. So in knowing this anger is held within our body through our shadow self, our ego self, that self of which tends to kind of make us feel that we're self-judgment to ourselves, the self that makes us kind of, want to get revenge for people. That is all for our shadow self. It is walking into the dark as opposed to the light of ourselves. So in doing so, we need to understand, why is this emotion arising? Why is this fear or this anger, specifically now this anger, coming from? And why do I feel that way? And one of the things that I love that Eckhart Tolle talks about, The Power of Now, in relation to how to overcome fear is, or fear and anger, but specifically anger. He says that when you think about anger and you're holding a space for it, we need to start to think of it in that sense now. So when we get angry right now, thinking of whatever that thing is, why are you feeling angry right now? Not about what happened at that time that it caused you to be angry, or what is going to happen that will cause you to be angry, because that will allow you to attract more of that anger and that vibration to your life. But what right now just happened that triggered that emotion and triggered, i.e. the pain body. That is what's going to allow you to not be a body of pain, but be in a body of peace, a body of bliss, and a body of a state of mind and consciousness. So think about that first of all, asking yourself not what is getting me angry from the past or the present or past or the future, what is getting you angry right this moment. So that is one of the most important parts of when you're processing that anger and healing and overcoming it. We also need to understand that the pain body is in a state of reaction. So the more that we understand why we feel that way right now, why for some reason my partner using that word triggers a trauma that happened to me, or why someone giving me a certain critique triggers a trauma for me, or why I have anger towards this person in the family and I don't understand why ever since I was little. All of those things come from rooted emotions, rooted experiences, rooted traumas. So once we understand that, we can then process that and allow our bodies to be released, and then, i.e., surrendering to the universe so they can allow us to heal and be with our emotions. I talk about this a lot in our last video of how to overcome fear, how it's so important that we need to sit in our emotions. And if we're not being able to face our anger, we are, i.e., being fearful of the possibility of walking out of our shadows and into the light, and that experience of being in that conscious state, which is what we need to be. And this is what our soul, this is what our higher self wants. Which brings us to our next step, which is fear. What exactly is fear? Fear is the ability for us to be afraid of something that is going to happen in the future. It is not something that is happening now. It is something that could possibly happen. It is a perhaps possibility. And if you guys know law of attraction and how it works, law of attraction is all in the state of that seed, that thought that we plant, that thought that we are thinking of, the thoughts that we probably don't think of, but our brain still has them in our mind, and how we put more energy towards that with certain emotions such as anger, fear, happiness, excitement. So if we're talking about fear, if we're not really consciously aware of what those fears are, it makes it very difficult for us to release this. And I talk about this again in that video, so you guys can definitely go check it out after this. But specifically now, when we're talking about how do we overcome that fear, is by understanding that the fear is actually an illusion of which does not exist. It is something that could possibly exist, but it does not exist. It only exists if you put the emotion and the energy towards that thought that then therefore becomes a thing, and i.e. manifests into a vibration and an energy that can therefore attract other things to come to our life, i.e. the wrong people, the wrong relationships, the wrong jobs, all of those things that we think about. However, these are all lessons for us. If this is an experience that you're currently going through, an emotion of fear, an emotion of anger, I want you to sit with that emotion and ask yourself, why? Why am I going through this? Why have I manifested this? Why am I, what am I learning from this? What can I go with this and pass through this experience, surrendering to that emotion, surrendering to the universe of all of what I'm experiencing, so therefore I can go and attract the right vibration. I can attract not fear, but excitement. My friend used to tell me this thing, and she said, if you look at fear and excitement, they have the same emotions. Your hands get sweaty, you get a little bit, your stomach gets a little butterflies in the stomach. You get the same side effects as excitement. So if we were able to control our minds and think at that present now that we are not worrying about what could possibly happen, but focusing our energy on what can happen, what we want to happen, that energy will revert and we'll be able to eliminate fear completely. Which brings me to my next thing, going back to anger and why I wanted to talk about overcoming fear and anger. Fear and anger both are held in the same space, the shadow, i.e. the shadow and the ego. So if we're able to release that fear and that thought of which that does not exist, we're therefore able to release our ego. And this is where people get experiences, sometimes in parts of their life, called ego death. And ego death is when we are so blissed and we are so close to our real self that it's almost like everything else in our life that we were living amongst our ego does not align with us, and we feel a space of emptiness. And that is completely normal, because after ego death becomes freedom, becomes ultimate bliss. And if you guys are going through a rebirthing or an awakening, this is something that you're probably familiar with and you're experiencing right now. You've released that fear, you've released that anger, but you feel kind of down, and that is completely normal. Your body is just adjusting to the new frequency. It's adjusting to the new vibration. So all in all, what I'm really telling you is to surrender to fear. Now let's talk about how love can eliminate anything. If you really think about all these emotions, anger and fear are all illusions of which do not exist. So if we think about love, love is something that is so strong, so high vibrational, and it is the only emotion that is really high vibrational that can eliminate everything. Think of all the aspects of your life where you were most down, where you have seen the worst of the worst, and what has caused it to come out of that space of darkness, the light. And in the light is all filled with love. It's filled with unconditional love, and that is which is a rise in the vibration of the divine, the universe, and all of which encompasses in their body and in their emotions and in that vibration. So if we are part of the divine and part of the universe, We are, i.e., part of love. And that love is within each and every single one of us. So whenever you think of fear and whenever you think of anger, I really want you to bring yourself back to the state of love, because love is the only thing that exists. Love is the only thing that really, really comes together for all of us. And I'm actually going to do a video on this because I got inspired by one of my favorite energy healers about this. And it just really hit home for me. Love is all that exists, and that is it. There is no question about it. And when we put our energy towards those things such as resentfulness and anger and fear and worrying about things that we do not have control of except for the now, like Eckhart Tolle talks about, we are able to overcome fear, and we are able to overcome anger with the love of which we have and the love together with the divine. So I want you to remember that every time these emotions come, because it is important for you to release. It's important for you to surrender to those emotions and understand the why. Why is that coming up? Is it from a trauma? Is it from ancestors? Is it from, where does that come? Understanding it and releasing it, and understanding that it can be combated with love, creating an affirmation with love to yourself. So I really hope you enjoy this video. I really hope that this allows you to see the light outside of this shadow that does not exist, and allowing yourself to heal within yourself, because you are doing so great. And just to understand this alone has really allowed me to feel uplifted, and I'm sure it has allowed you to feel uplifted as well. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I do videos every single day for you lovely, lovely souls, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.